Hey Pusnet, new little video. On this one, I wanted to talk about a little bit of concept, and as you can see from the title, we hear a lot in the when people prepare their kits about antibiotics, and it's all good. And I mean, we've been having the discussion, and we're still discussing about it, and still doing some research and things like that. And I thought it would be a good little concept video post my infectious disease ones, because all we hear is bacteria, and because if you think about it, antibiotics is only good for bacteria. But I would encourage people to get trained, and I'll put a whole bunch of links of things that I've seen, and please, if you have better ones, put it in the comments. But I think that people should be reintroduced, because things in biology you do get trained in that, but microbiology, and especially the medical microbiology. And why? Because the disease not just caused by bacteria. They can be caused by virus, they can be caused by protozoa and other disease, especially with water borne disease and things like that. There's other type of things, and like there's yeast infections and all that kind of stuff. And the reason to know about that stuff is because first of all, that was one of the argument that I did about the antibiotics, is because sure, it's nice and dandy that you have like this big stack of antibiotic in the back, but first of all, do you know when to use it? As not only which one to use, but first of all, is that an infection that is caused by bacteria, or is it a viral infection and all the other stuff that can mimic an infection? So I was talking, a good example of this is pneumonia. It can be caused by viral stuff, it can be caused by mechanical stuff. So like if you inject like water, actually we had a case recently, sea waters in near drowning situation, it can kind of does some mechanical damage more than infectious purposes. I mean, antibiotic can still be used, but again, then it's a whole brand new game. And so this is what I was, that's what I mean by we should be versed in other stuff. And so I put some link about microbiology, and I remember from nursing school, that was the most boring topic, I have to admit. But to get introduced in it, I think it has some value. Just like a lot of people, they talk about medicine per se, like get first aid course and stuff, but you'll see one of the link that I put was a crash course anatomy and physiology. And I think that for anyone that is kind of a little bit serious on becoming a medical person in the preparedness, those are very it's a good knowledge base to have about anatomy and physiology, because anything you're going to be doing, anything that you'll be reading about, is based on that. So if you think just about bleeding, why do we do direct pressure? It's all about the physiology of why a shock happens and what happens and things like that. And so when you understand at least those basic concepts, then you understand why direct pressure is recommended, why you're doing X versus Y. And so in microbiology, it's the same thing. Why would I use antibiotic and not use antibiotics? And then it brings the question too, what else should we, because everybody talks about those fish antibiotics, fish antibiotic here and there, and everybody. But I don't hear a lot about antivirals, and I don't hear a lot about yeast, and I don't hear about other stuff. But yet, those are like, if you talk about influenza, that could be a very prominent things. And also you'll see a link down, is that there's not just pills. Pills are a good solution, and they can be useful, but there's other ways that you can promote, and especially in a place where you may not have the gear and stuff, to be knowledgeable about this. This is where knowledge is really power, is that if you understand your enemy, then you know how to go against it. And so that's why in microbiology, there's really knowledge. You get to know the enemy, which are virus, bacteria, or anything like this. So then you know why you use certain PPE and certain disease versus not the other disease, because you understand how they treat theirs. So why droplet, for example, in influenza, and not in another disease, for example? Why contact in MRSA but droplet instead? It's just because some are bigger and some are bacteria will be smaller or bigger and stuff, and it comes from a microbiology knowledge as well, because understanding your enemy, you understand how you can defend about itself. So this was just a small video to kind of encourage you as a concept to understand your enemy, which is the little bugs. And this is why the title of the video is "There's More Kids Than Around the Block," is that everybody talks about bacteria, everybody talks about infection, but in that group there's other stuff, like why are water, the way we treat our water, why do we need certain type of filters or certain techniques and stuff. So that's why I think it's a good knowledge, not just for the medical part, but for everything else that has related to hygiene or water treatment and things, or food. By understanding those all the family of under the medical microbiology, then you can understand your enemy, and then you're a little bit more versed to fight against it. So anyway, I encourage you to read some of the links, and again, if you have better links, please put them in the comment, and I'll talk to you soon.